learners. Our topic for today is inverse proportions. What is inverse proportion? Inverse proportion is a relationship between two variables whereby when one variable increases, the other one decreases. And when one variable decreases, the other one increases. So in a nutshell, what's happening to one variable, the opposite is happening to the other variable which is compared with. So this is called the indirect proportion. Or it can be called the inverse proportion. And once more, it's so important to note that whenever you're dealing with proportions, we need to use the same instrument. Okay, now let us have a practice of the first concept of the inverse proportion. Tumi has bought 60 cans of cold drinks for his visitors. Soft drinks and cold drinks is the same thing, and he will share the cans equally with his friends. How many cans will each one of them get if he is joined by one friend? Now he's no longer one, they are two. Remember, when he's alone, he can drink all the 60 cans. But now, if there are two, how many cans will each one of them drink? So now, because he's with his friend, we will now say 60 divide by 2. We can press the calculator together, and we will have 60 divide by 2. And as we divide 60 by 2, we get 30. Therefore, we say each one of them can drink 30 cans because there are 60 in total. So in a nutshell, once you see that the proportion is inverse or it's indirect, we are dividing by the number of people, if that context is dealing with the number of people. Okay, let us move. This is the worked out example that I was doing with you. I can move to the next one. The next one, Pabi wanted to paint her house. The builder has told her that one person will take 6 days to complete the painting. Use the table below to determine the number of days needed to complete the house as the number of people increases. So now, if Pabi got one person, if Pabi's builder got one person to assist him, therefore, because they are two, remember, for one person, it takes 6 days. Now, for two people, it will be 6 divided by 2, which is 3. We said for one person, it's 6 days. For two people, it will take 3 days. And what if there are 3 now? If there are 3, because originally the total number needed to be taken to complete the painting, it's 6 days. We will take 6, we divide it by 3, and then it will be 2. So now, if there are 4 now, we will take 6, we divide it by 4. So can we press the calculator together? We say 6 divided by 4. The answer we got is 1,5 days. So we say they will complete it in 1.5 days. But because we said determine the number of days, we are saying if we need to round up, if we need to determine the total number of days, we can as well round it up. But for now, for the sake of this activity, we leave it as it is. We are not rounding up now. We are saying we need the actual duration. Remember now, 1.5 days is still a period that can be taken to complete the painting. So here we will have 1,5. That is the number of days, 1.5 days. Okay, so now let us move to the last concept, the inverse proportion graphs. So now, because we've already dealt with inverse proportion, now we are going to plot the graph. So we're saying, number one, what is key is that the graph representing the inverse proportion is a curve. Remember, the one to represent the direct proportion was a straight line. So the one to represent the inverse proportion should now be a curve. Why is it a curve? Because when one variable increases, the other one decreases. And when one variable decreases, the other one will increase. So now we need to have a look at the steps that we will take to plot the graph. The steps are exactly the same. So with this one, we say as you plot the graph, remember to write the title of the graph, to identify the variables, label the graph, plot the coordinates, and join the coordinates. But as you join in the coordinates, it won't be a straight line. It will now be a line that we call a curve, but it is still a line. Okay, so now let us take a look at the first example. Use the table below to plot the graph indicating the relationship between number of cans and number of people. So now we say if one person can take 12 cans, if he is joined by 2 people, they will share the 12 cans and they will become 6. Each one of them will get 6 cans. And then if they are 3, each one of them will get 4. And then if they are 4, each one of them will get 3. So let us go to the plotting. Number 1, we said make sure that the title is correct. Number of people sharing the cans, because we are talking about number of people who are sharing the cans. Take note, it's so important to check the heading. Number 2, we check your variables. Here, it's number of people, and here it's number of people. Remember, I said you need to check the variable. That's where now we need to look thoroughly and check which one is the dependent, which one is the independent. We said number of people is independent. Then always the independent will be plotted in the horizontal axis. And the number of cans, it is the dependent, because it depends on the number of people, on how many people. Therefore, this will be plotted on the vertical axis. Therefore, this will make us to change and say, we know now that number of people, because it is the independent variable, it will be on the horizontal axis. And the number of cans will now be here. So let's write the number of cans and let's replace this with the correct title. Okay, now let us plot. We say if we have one person will take 12 cans. This is 10. It's so important to read the values in between and know that if this is 10, this will be 11 and this will be 12. So if this is 12, you can as well trace this side. This is the first coordinate. So now, if you have 2 people, for 2 people, we say each one of them will take 6 cans. So if this is 5, this is your 6, you can trace. This is the point where we have 6 cans for 2 people. And then if they are 3, this is 3 cans. And then you can trace, we say it's going to be 4. And then because this is 0, we can say 1, 2, 3, and this is your 4. And if we trace, this is the coordinate where we have 3 and 4. And finally, if you have 4, this is 4, the number of people, and then we need to know the number of cans. The number of cans we said will be 3. Because this is your 0, you have 1, 2, and 3. And this is the point where you will have 4 people and 3 cans. Now, let us join these points. As we join the points, I hope you can see that this is no longer a straight line now. This now, it is becoming a curve. So this is the graph that we need to draw. And remember, once you see that as number of people increases, the number of cans decreases, you must remember your graph is going to be a curve. So for now, I want you to take a break. Just get a glass of water and we'll continue right after the break.